Hey folks, Dale here, and in this solo outing of the Infinite Geek, I have the honour of reviewing the newest book release, Doctor Who: Engines of War by George Mann, which for the first time depicts one of the most mysterious and unknown periods in the history of Doctor Who, the Time War. In this story we see the return of the War Doctor, as played by John Hurt in the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, as he struggles to fight the endless war of the cosmos between his people, the Time Lords of Gallifrey, and his bitter enemies, the Daleks of Skaro. The story is rather awesome, folks. Not only is it great to have more of the War Doctor, but we see the Daleks in their prime. They're pretty damn scary in this story, and we get to see many myriad forms of them, several which are brand new paradigms never seen before, including one which is essentially a modern Who interpretation of the Special Weapons Dalek, which should please many McCoy-era fans. I know it pleased me. Much of the story is actually told through the eyes of the Doctor's newest companion, a young red-headed girl named Cinder, an excellently crafted character that you can quickly latch onto and sympathise with. She's a person who has been forged by her experiences and made into something full of vengeance in this war, and her story really parallels well with the Doctor's, and their dynamic is rather fun to see play out. The young fiery girl with the older gruff Doctor, two opposites, and yet both soldiers with striking similarities. It reminds me of an interesting twist on the first Doctor-Susan relationship. The story actually has many pleasant surprises in it, as it has a few certain characters that you really may not be expecting to turn up. But it's great to see them, and very interesting the way their stories transpire and where they go. It's a treat for both classic and modern fans, with the story acting as a bridge between the two and melding them well for the most part. It explains many things that were not in the show itself, such as how did Rassilon get brought back for the Time War, for example, as well as several other things that fans may have probably guessed already, but it's nice to have that official explanation. The plot I personally liked. The Daleks have their own master plan in motion that has sinister implications and layers, more of which are revealed as the story goes on. And we also see how far the Time Lords have fallen as a society and a people, and the lengths they will go to for the simple ideal of victory. Their own plans are shockingly immoral, but we also see little references to things that are alluded to in The End of Time. And one of the main factors of the story is seeing what ultimately causes the Doctor to say no more and decide to end the war, the event which pushes our hero over the line and willing to commit double genocide. I personally quite liked it, how it transpired. To my own personal taste, it fit well. Some negatives. I shall say that in my own personal copy of the book there were several grammar mistakes, and you may think that would be fine, just one or two, and it would be. However, as I continued to read more and more as the story went on, I kept noticing more and more little inconsistencies and just simple mistakes. They don't ruin the story, but they are a little bit of an annoyance. I also think at times the story just feels a little rushed, like they were trying to fit in an epic story into a 40-minute TV episode, despite the fact it's in novel format. Again, it may seem like a little nitpick, but there were a couple of instances where I would have preferred the writer take more time with the characters and the events, and just develop the quieter moments more, but that's just me. Overall summary though, folks, this is a great book. It sheds some light on an era of the Doctor's life that we've been desperate to know about for nearly a decade now. And it has some great interactions with both new and familiar characters, of which they are interesting continuations from classic continuity, and they also tie in well to their modern Who appearances. And it's just phenomenal to get more of Hurt's War Doctor, whom George Mann has a brilliant voice for. Is the story a 10 out of 10 perfect score? Sadly not, but it is up there as a great experience that sucks you in to keep reading that next page, and an awesome entry into the Doctor Who mythos, and I do so hope that there is more to come from the Time War and the War Doctor's adventures. I give Engines of War an 8 out of 10. Excellent.